9-2, and that's the end of my social security. So
Right,
we can start.
right.
We can start whenever.
No.
Easy, slow down. Come on.
Welcome to Going Yard. That was a fun. You like that setup though? With the,
Yeah.
little personal info. Kind of fun,
Whoops.
but this will be a fun one, Alex. It's just that we're back to the dynamic duo. We're back. We're back in action. We had the fun little side quest, little guest action, little Neil coming on. That was fun. But yeah, we are back to our usual business here, and yeah, excited. I feel like it's going to be fun. This is going to be less of a catch up than our usual catch up because we both. I don't want to bury the lead too much here, but we both did a little New York City trip. New York. Both went to go see Colbert, got to see the taping, really fun. So I think it'll be fun to kind of rehash it from your perspective, my perspective, and kind of fill people in on some of the things. Because I did have some takeaways I want to hit. Yeah. What was did you have a favorite part?
I had multiple favorite parts about the whole trip. That's why this is coming out a day later. For you guys, we missed you. We missed you, our loyal listeners. We missed you so much. We just
it should.
Yeah. What's that?
It should get out at the same time. I think I'll probably get it out. It'll be Thursday.
Jake, that's because you're an excellent producer. Everybody's been saying it, including myself. You, Lisa, the way you do it. It's it's impressive. It's impressive. I know the listeners are excited about it. We were just a couple rabble-rousers in the city this weekend.
What did you say?
Couple rabble-rousers.
Is that your word of the day?
It could have been. No, what is... no, my word today is loquacious. Talking about chatty. Whoops. Guilty.
Loquacious. A little bit loquacious. I was doing a Juiska was the last one we talked about?
Juiska.
I can't remember if that was on...
Do you want to explain it to the audience, or should I, if they don't know what it is? They probably already know, because you have a very intelligent audience.
That's right. The word of the day, Juiska, for Alex, that he shared with Lisa and I the other day. Weekly appreciation of my wife. I love her very dearly. Juiska was one of the words you had. We were hanging out, and it means to... I might get it not the exact definition, but paraphrasing, it's to ruminate in the shower, to have inner conversations with yourself in the shower, which is something I do daily.
Dude, that was like verbatim.
Was it? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hypothetical compulsive conversation played out in one's head. Joska. It's funny because it's Jouska.
Joska.
But I guess it's a Norwegian alternative pop band as well.
Oh,
what a great name.
What a great name, Joska. What are the Joskas? You think they...
Joskas. Yeah.
Maybe the stage design's just a shower. You know, they're inside
and they're singing in the shower.
Bathtub. Yeah. And maybe that's the... I don't know, Alex. Maybe talk to them. We pitch it.
Maybe instead of rain coming out, it's the fog machine. Because any good rock show has a fog machine. So it like comes out. And that's
now,
how the fog.
Does it specify shower or bath?
No, I think that was in one of the examples in my app that we looked over and we looked at it together.
So it doesn't have to be in a shower.
Let me do definition here. So, no, I don't think it has to be. In your head, coined by the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows, it serves as a psychological batting cage to rehearse scenarios, craft comebacks, or analyze past interactions, often feeling more satisfying than real life, which... Guilty! Yeah,
the amount of comebacks I've had in the shower. Yeah. That loofah doesn't know which way's up.
So loquacious is today.
Loquacious was today.
The other
loquacious is, what was it, chatty, you said?
Or talkative. And
a couple of loquacious guys
rabble-rouser. Rabble-rouser is just one that I picked up off the street. I picked that up.
Alex, you're going rogue on us? You're going outside of the app? You're out of your mind?
I am.
Who are you
You did some
talking to? Who are you? What was it? Rabble? What was it?
rabble rousers. A couple of rabble
Rabble rouse.
rousers.
Who are you rabble
Now,
rousing with, Alex?
let me. I want to look that one up now. That one is fun for you guys listening to this. Throw that one into a fun dinner party. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah,
just being a couple of rabble rousers here. So let
rabble.
me
Bonnie Rubble, trouble.
rabble. Oh, that was a bit of a foreshadow, but
I
a
know.
rabble rouser. So it's a person who speaks with intention of inflaming the emotions of a crowd of people, typically for political reasons, which I didn't know that last part.
Oh, oh.
um,
So were
but
you
I
rabble rousing? Were
Well,
you rabble
that's what I
rousing
said.
a
We were
small
rabble
crowd?
rousing. I said we were
Okay.
rabble rousing at dinner. We were inflaming a crowd. We used to rabble rousel back in the day.
Well,
We
yeah,
used
quite a bit.
not the political intent part, but more for comedy.
You had an
Um,
edgy president's bit back in the day.
should I do it? Are you setting up my president's?
No,
Well,
no, we don't have
I
to.
could. Okay,
You can just hit the spark notes if you want, just a
I'll hit
quick.
the spark
But
notes. It's something along the lines, and I probably will butcher it here, but something along the lines of, oh no, you know what it is? Because that's actually the punchline. So that actually gives away the punchline. Because it was my girlfriend was asking me, does the carpet match the drapes? My girlfriend asked me, does the
right,
carpet match
right.
the
I
drapes? And I said, that's
apologize.
kind of like the '04 election. A lot of Bush, and not everybody's happy about it.
That's right.
And and then,
Right.
oh no,
'08
then it was then does the carpet match the drapes? And that's like the '08 election. They are black. Yeah, something along that.
I thought it was we need to change or something like
Oh yeah, that could work well.
you had a couple that would
Yeah,
hit.
that was I had a homeless bit where like a lot of people want to say homeless today, but they're not homeless. They're trans sheltered. They're just
Right.
transitioning between shelters. I have a trans sheltered friend myself, and we get into it. We talk a lot about our
Wow.
dreams, our aspirations. He wanted to be a boxer. I told him he already is, and he always
There it
says
is.
something. Fuck, what was the change line? He's always asking, oh, he voted
We're
for
getting
Obama, and I said he just wanted a little change or something like that.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
something.
That's right.
It was pun heavy. You could tell the
Fun.
stand up was
Oh yeah.
pun heavy.
It was incredible.
But
I'm
that's how
all
we
for it.
rattled and roused back in the day.
That was that was a great rabble rouse right there. That one I
Yeah.
think was one of the better
And I
ones we
think
had.
we did it
Now
we did it in the city. We did New York, and then we went back to the stopping grounds this past weekend. We went back to the old
I
New York
know,
City.
Alex. Speaking of which,
Mhm.
we should go back to Gotham Comedy Club and check it out. On I know we were
Love.
talking about this weekend, but we got to do a little comedy outing,
Would love.
little not bar hop, I guess comedy hop. I don't know how
Yeah.
to
I think that'd be such
something
a
like
fun
that.
night. We just go jump from club to club and try to catch some of the best acts and get 2 drink minimum, 2 drink minimum, 2 drink minimum. Cover charge, cover charge, cover
Charge.
charge.
I think it'd be great. It would be so fun.
or
That's
or
hilarious.
we show them our Yardley comedy page and say we're comedians and try to get in
We're
for
meeting our
free
buddy
in the
here.
back
We're
door.
classic.
Our buddy
We'll
said to
be
drop by. Are we in the right
right.
place? Our buddy Bill Burr said to drop by. Or,
Yeah, actually,
that's what Bill said.
my buddy, you know him. My my wife Lisa is actually the third part of the act, so she should actually get in as well for free.
Yeah, yeah.
Also with
She
us.
actually does crafty in the green room. So if you could just bring us right to the green room, she's got to get to
Yeah,
work. She's
she does a vocal piece of our performance, so it's actually the three of us up there, and
yeah. By the way, where's your piano?
yeah, she's gonna lug
Where's
it.
your piano? Yeah.
Um, oh my goodness. So you got in. Um, I'll tell you what, New York hadn't been in a very long time. Haven't really been since, I guess it must have been, was it the comedy thing? Must have been the last time. It was like
Was it
in the
really?
city, I think. I believe
Wow.
so. Yeah, so it's been quite some time. Um, but man, it is wild. The crazy thing that I realized is like it was surprisingly accessible. It was like little 15-minute ride to the train station and then hour and a half. So under 2 hours, I go from my bedroom to like Times Square, which is that's pretty good. That's pretty
Pretty
good
rad.
for yeah. And you don't, you're not flying or anything. Um, it was pretty fun. We got in there. We had a little bit of a ripper. We had a little bit of a ripper of a day. We got in there. That was Saturday. We checked in, put our bags down, and we went immediately to the Staten Island, which I told you a little bit about. But that was,
Yeah. Now this was
uh,
you and Lisa the first day,
mm-hmm.
so I was not there. I came the following day. So it was just Saturday, you and Lisa. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but she was giving you the tour of her kind of old college stomping grounds. Is that right?
Yeah, she did. So she
Uh-huh.
and it's on Staten Island. But it was very fun because man, just coming from LA, especially, just being able to just jump on the subway, and even now they have the tap pay. It's
Oh,
so easy to just
too
walk
easy.
through. I had
Yeah.
my phone, didn't even have to get a card out. I just double tap the phone, I don't even break stride, get on the subway, and then you're just kind of taking it wherever. We went down, took it to the South Side, got a bar recommendation. Fun Irish spot did this. It's called Dead Rabbit. So,
Oh yeah,
uh,
you were talking this up.
yeah,
Right, 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 right.
I think I might do this for like every trip now. Where on the train ride down, I texted Ken and Kyle because they're both New York guys, and they lived in the city for 5, 6 years each. And they both had all these recommendations. And so they sent me the Google, um, you know, website or the Google listing for each of the bars, restaurants, whatever it was. And each time they sent like a little message of like, you know, good happy hour, meatballs, fun, hot dog or like something like that. And so
Oof. Couple of meat
I
pistols. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. So on the train ride down, I was just pinning all of these. I was saving all of these bars as places I wanted to go. And then what you can do in Google Maps is you go into saved places and then you just have a pinned map of all your recommendations. So it,
Pretty
I
awesome.
I'm going to do
Yeah.
that every time I go to a city now because what happened was when we were at the hotel, we were like, okay, we're close to this spot. We can check it out. Then we go down, we take the subway, super easy. We're making our way to Staten Island. We're about to go on. I was like, I am starving. Let's see what recommendations are on here. We were like 2 blocks from another recommendation, and it's this Irish bar. It was awesome. We had a little Irish coffee where they got
Ooh.
they shaved nutmeg onto the top. It
Jake. Is that
it
fresh
was a
nut?
lot.
They getting a little
It was
meg? Fresh
fresh nut. I
meg right off the
know.
top?
Oh my gosh. It was in front of my wife. It was disgusting. It was yeah. But no, it was a blast. We did that, had some good apps, chatted. It was one of those bars where they had a bunch of dollars stapled to the entire bar, the ceiling, the columns. We're chatting with the bartender, and this is like Saturday. This is like middle of the day. This is like the beginning of his shift. And so we're chatting with him. We're getting these recommendations. We'll tell him about our stay and everything. He was a local guy, born and raised, Hell's Kitchen, New York, which that's a rare breed, I feel like.
Wait, wait, wait. It's called Hell's Kitchen, New York? Is that the name of the
That's
place?
like a neighborhood. That's like
Is it really?
yeah, it's just a part. We were right next to it. One of the restaurants we went to was in Hell's Kitchen. And then there's like Midtown, there's Hell's Kitchen. And then I forget.
I'm sorry. Can we pause? I feel very ignorant here, but it came
You
before the
looking it up?
show. It came before the show, right? The
Well,
show Hell's
oh,
Kitchen?
yeah. That's a great
Is
question.
it? Do you know? I don't
No, the
know.
Gordon Ramsay, he actually owns all of this neighborhood. No, I don't know. I have no idea.
Kitchen.
Yeah, he might have. Maybe the show started because his restaurant was there. I wonder if that's part of it.
Oh yeah, it
But
says
then it's
Hell's
also like a
Kitchen, New York.
Oh,
Yeah,
it is a vibrant, centrally located Manhattan neighborhood stretching between 34th and 59th and 8th
yeah.
Avenue to the Hudson River. Known for its diverse dining, lively nightlife, and
What
Broadway
is this?
proximity. It is
Is it all?
transformed from a gritty 19th century Irish American enclave into a popular residential and cultural hub.
And then I throw my cigarette.
Yeah, yeah, it was
That was my New
fantastic.
Yorker. Yeah,
Oh, it sounded like an older woman. It reminded me of in
kinda.
Monsters Inc. Do
Mike
you know?
Wazowski.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, it
Mike
was that.
Wazowski.
Yeah,
Yeah, that kind of was.
that
And
was me
Hell's
being a
Kitchen. I'm from Hell's Kitchen. Mike
Um,
Wazowski.
no, it's
yeah.
funny. It was this young guy bartender, and we were chatting with him. We told him about. We ended up going to Every Brilliant Thing. It was a one-man Broadway show by our very own Daniel Radcliffe. So
Harry Potter himself.
we were talking about it. Us and the bartender, Lisa and I, bartender, were chatting, and as we're chatting about it, we look up and look at the top shelf. Again, sparsely populated bar. There's no one around. We're just looking around, shooting the shit
Mhm.
with this guy. He's just shaving nutmeg, and we end
In
up
front of my wife. Yeah.
in front of my wife, and then we look up on the top shelf and there was a 29-year aged like whiskey or Irish whiskey. And I was like
29 years old.
29 years
That's so it's
aged.
so let's think about that. It's probably got a great credit score. It's
Great
probably all
credits. It can rent a car.
it can
It
rent a
can
car.
yeah.
It may have put some significant change away for like a down payment on a house.
It
That
also
whiskey.
infuriates me that they didn't make it to 30. They were so
Yeah.
close to
Come back
30
next year.
years.
Jake, come back next year.
So anyway, I asked him, I go, how much is a shot of that? He goes, can a shot of that is probably like 500, 600.
What?
I was like,
Oh my god.
oh, I said,
$500.
I turned to Lisa, I go, well, we could get a shot of that, or we could go to the Daniel Radcliffe show. Either one, one or the
So
other. We can't do
it costs
both.
at that bar, it costs $500 to throw up in your mouth a little bit. That's crazy.
To throw up in your yeah, exactly. What's funny, it's actually
Shot.
more expensive than the tickets. It was more expensive than the
Yeah.
play ticket.
It's
So
nuts.
we
Do you
were
know what
like,
brand? Do you remember what the brand was or no? It's just
oh my gosh, I
trendy
can't
bar
imagine there's a
whiskey.
lot of. It was an Irish brand. I couldn't tell you
That's okay. That's all right. I was just curious if you had a name.
if
Would love
oh
to.
it was Bushmills. Bushmills.
Bushmills. Now
Bushmills rare cask. Yeah. And so
Jake, off jump. Bushmills sounds Bush League. It doesn't sound like it should be that much. So it's Bushmills.
No. Yeah,
Old
Bushmills.
distillery in Northern Ireland. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
Checks out.
Bushmills.
Story checks out.
So the funny thing was, we're getting ready to head out. We got to go to Staten Island, which was such a funny thing to be like, yeah, we're tourists. We're going to Staten Island. The bartender was like, oh, have fun. Like, he was like, have a good time. But we had a laugh about it. Because I mean, Lisa's familiar with it and she kind of knew the button she was pushing there. And
Yeah.
and so we're going to leave. And I was like, how do we get our dollar? How do we get a dollar on the wall here? He goes, I'll do it for you. I got a stapler. And so we tipped the guy. He was really cool. And then on the dollar, people write things. And so we said, we put the date and then we put it for the year 2029. We're going to come back for the Bushmills in 2029 for the
Yeah.
29-year aged whiskey. So, yeah, at that date, we're gonna go back there and demand that dollar back. I think is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and if it's well, maybe with inflation it'll be less valuable. I was gonna say if it's a
That's right.
specific type of dollar, it might be more valuable, but it might be less valuable at that time.
That's right. Well,
But
at least it's a $599 shot at that point.
yeah,
You know?
right. Yeah, yeah. It's just
It's not
you
that
just
expensive.
put $1 down for
Yeah.
future
Yeah.
whiskey drinking.
There was a lot of. I mean, it's just like this random Irish bar. It was fun. They had on the floor like almost, what is it, like sawdust. You know. Have you seen that in different bars? They like sawdust on the ground.
For what? No. What are you talking about?
Um,
Was there a bunch of horses that were in there for a little bit before you were in there?
no, apparently it's like to absorb some of the like just moisture of a bar. It's like to make cleanup easier.
Instead of it
It's like
being
an
sticky.
yeah, it's like more of like an old timey like type of thing, but they kind of just like kept it for the aesthetic.
Did you get a tuberculosis shot in there as well?
Yeah, that's right.
And then I got a shave. I got a shave with a straight razor for $1.
Yeah, so I was gripping the bar. Just they put some Bushmills on it before they did the injection.
Yeah,
I was
bottom of
downing
the
some
barrel stuff.
Bushmills.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really cool bar. I do recommend it. It's called Dead Rabbit. It's on the south side, like right where the Hudson ends up, right on like as you're going across to the Staten Island ferry is right there. And that's the other cool thing is the ferry is just free. You just walk up to it. Lisa was very excited that
Memdani moves fast, huh? Free ferry already. Wow.
Yeah, so we're getting but it was really fun because this was like basically Lisa's like college kind of experience that she was reliving. And so in the terminal, we get these margaritas. We get these like frozen margaritas. And so we're talking to that bartender and we're like, hey, yeah, we're doing a college thing. He goes, oh, I bet you are. He just starts pouring. You can't see my hand right now, but he starts doing the real pull up the bottle, big pour for the liquor.
Looks like a double the way you did that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it might have been a little bit more, but we had those and you could walk right on the ferry. We walk right on the ferry, no tickets,
your
absolutely
margs?
free with the margs. It was a beautiful day. We're taking pictures of the city. And then Lisa was laughing and it's like, it's really funny because the Staten Island ferry, completely free and is maybe better views of the Statue of Liberty than like some of the tours.
Yeah.
Like it goes right by it.
The picture that you guys sent to the group chat, it looked like, I thought you guys got that off of like Google Images. Like it looks like a prime. Yeah. Clear day.
It was
Color
a
looked
clear day. And because there was like some wind, it wasn't windy, but there was some wind. The clouds cleared. And so really clear day. And then went by Ellis Island and we made it to Staten Island. It was cool. Staten Island, we get there and then Wagner has a shuttle that was free. We take that and then we can go and we checked out her Alicia's college, which was awesome. I didn't realize it was used for the shoot of School of Rock. So
cool.
That was very fun. Got to check that out. So we've got to watch School of Rock. Took the ferries back.
Remember what scenes in School of Rock or the school itself?
So the school
Like
itself.
No
like the
way.
front of it is, the front of it. And there was also some other scenes too. And there was actually one of Lisa's classmates was cast in it. So I guess the guy that goes like Eliza Minnelli,
that guy,
was in her department.
kind of feminine young kid. Yeah, that guy was great. Yeah,
I can't remember the line now. I just remember Eliza Minnelli, but
well, because he's
really
like,
good.
what are some of your favorite rock groups, huh? What are some of your favorite rock groups, huh? And he goes, Puff Daddy.
Oh yeah,
And then,
yeah, the one kid.
and he goes, what? No, what about you? Eliza Minnelli?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. We walked around, checked out the old stomping grounds, and then made it back, hit up another one of her where Lisa did her kind of like graduation party, another fun bar, hit that up. And then yeah, took the subway back and got a New York slice and then ended up checking in. Now, I did want to ask you about something because we checked into the hotel.
Fire.
We checked into the hotel and we were on the first or second floor. So we were low. We were low down. It was a nice room, nice hotel. But after a long day, we had been drinking a lot. I had this thought I've never really had, and I didn't like this before I was going to sleep. I just remember thinking, just hammered, just like, oh, it's a lot of building above me. There's a lot of. We had like
You're like, how much do I trust the structural engineers? How much do I trust the architects?
I've never really had that, but I just was I don't know what the headspace was or why I thought about it, but I was like, huh.
You're getting older. You're talking about the fragility of life here, huh?
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
And
But
so,
Jake, good news. If you're on the second or first floor of like a skyscraper, it was like a tall building, at least what, 20 floors, I feel like? Was it?
Mhm.
Maybe something like that.
I
You're
don't know,
dying
a
right
lot.
away. If it falls,
Right. That is a
you're
good
dying
thing,
right
isn't
away.
it? Right. That is
But
a
it's
good
not
thing.
it's like you die in your sleep is what it would be like, the experience
Right.
of it. There might be
Thank
a
God.
bang. Yeah,
Right.
but you wouldn't suffer,
Mhm. Right.
Unless
Oh,
it felt kind of weird and you were trapped. And then it's kind of like your
thank
own kind of
God.
coffin. Then you're
Right.
kind of in a coffin of
Mhm.
concrete.
That could be better. Yeah, that could be better, couldn't it?
You're alive, but
Still alive
and then
for
Jake, you could then from that experience take away the feeling of being like in a tunnel or like tunneling, kind of like Thomas Shelby from Peaky Blinders.
Here we
And
go.
you have that sort of feeling of death behind you, right?
Right.
You've already
I've already
had that
done
feeling.
that. Already
You're
done it.
not living in fear of it through the rest of your life. And then
Yeah.
it's your life kind of begins there. Do you know what I mean? Because people talk about,
Yeah.
life started after I had a near-death experience, and that could be you. Oh, is that how you talked yourself down, or from the drunk night out, or did you just go, "Meh, anyway," and then
Is there anyway? Well, I thought that, and then I stuffed my face with like a $6 slice or a $2 slice.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to be hungry in a concrete
Yeah.
coffin.
So yeah, that was the first day, and then you got in the second day, which was
Oh,
a
yeah.
little bit of a ripper. That was you kind of
Oh,
got in
I had a
there.
ripper. I had a bit of a day where I was watching the Sixers' first game in the playoffs, and they were just getting trounced on by the
Yeah.
Celtics. You got trounced on. Did you have a question?
Yes,
Jake.
I would be remiss. I got so
You
excited about all
buried it
that.
under a lot of concrete.
I buried it. Yeah, the concrete thing really did throw me for a loop. But we did end up seeing the Daniel Radcliffe show, which was kind of rad. Rad. Get it?
Oh, yeah, dude,
Rad.
you got to talk about the show. Yeah,
I
we
want to
buried
at
that.
least mention it. I at least mention it because it's a one-man show. And the whole thing is he just interacts with the audience the whole time. And so it was a fun time. We got in there. Now I in the middle of the line, you'd be very proud of this, Alex, with your pun background. I did say, as we're in the merch line, because we had to get a magnet. We get a magnet every time we go to one of these. And now we got a nice little collection. So this is added to that. So we're in line at the merch. And I say to Lisa, I go, man, I wish I had a sign that said, I would jump off a rad cliff for Daniel, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was stupid enough. It was stupid enough that
Jake.
the lady in front turns around and goes, I liked it. She goes,
No.
I liked it. And she goes, my son would love that. He would have loved it. And so she actually texted him the stupid pun, which was very
Jake,
fun.
it's perfectly executed sign humor. Sign
Yeah.
humor is so specific. You have to really thread a
Mhm.
needle, and you did that. I think you did that.
I sure did. And so we end up getting it. We get the magnet. We end up going through, and as we sit down on the stage, they have a bunch of different seating, and the seating is on the stage. One of the first people on the stage is the magnet lady. She is front row.
No way.
So we had
Yeah.
we had a friend on the inside, but it was great. It was like an hour and a half. I don't want to give it away too much, but he's talking to the audience the whole time, and it was just it was fun to see like what felt like a familiar face. Like face of Harry Potter,
Jake,
face
you
of
gotta help me out.
childhood.
What was this woman? I'm imagining like a real sprightly personality. What was she like? What did she look
Mm,
like?
yeah.
What was her presence like in
Oh
the
my!
line there when you were waiting?
She's probably like 50. She had a kid, and she had blonde hair, but she was there by herself. She seemed like she goes to these a lot. Seems like she's like a real regular, and she had like a real rhythm about her, and just kind of like yeah, this is what I do. These are the shows I go to. Yada yada
Whoa,
yada.
what do you mean by
And then
rhythm about her? What does that mean? She had a
she just
rhythm
knew
about
what
her.
she knew the venue. She knew went from the line directly to the merch table, directly to the front row. She
She
knew
did
what she was
in her first
doing.
rodeo, in her first show.
Yeah. But yeah, she was great at front
Do you
row,
have
and
a
Danny Rads.
hypothetical name for her? Not like a real name. It is maybe you think of
Ooh,
a real name.
I'd put her at like a Stephanie. Like a Stephanie. An older
Mhm.
Stephanie. Blonde
Yeah,
hair, pulled back, ponytail,
that helps a lot.
50s,
That helps a lot.
Stephanie.
Thank you. hmm
Yeah. Yeah.
Heavy set? Heavy set?
Blue. Yeah, a little bit. I wouldn't
I
say
knew it.
heavy. I wouldn't say fat, but
You wouldn't.
but no, but she wouldn't say skinny. I would say, a
Healthy.
little bit
Healthy.
healthy. Just, yeah. Yeah.
Stephanie.
Yeah. And so she was real like straightforward, but with just like a wry smile. You know what I mean? She wasn't serious entirely, but mostly.
I know exactly what you mean. That was an excellent description. Yeah,
You
the
like that?
wry smile. Yeah.
Yeah, just a
I
quick
okay. Okay, I know exactly who Stephanie is now. Okay.
yeah.
That makes
And
yeah.
so she's front row, but because the seats are on the stage, she's facing me. I'm in the main stage. I'm in the main audience, I mean. She's on the stage audience, and she's like, so it was fun. Daniel Radcliffe sat right next to her and did like a monologue type thing. I guess the whole show was a monologue. But yeah,
But it kind of wasn't though, from what you said though. You said there's a lot of audience, right?
lot of
Participate.
audience participation. The show had basically a numbering. It was almost picture like a bucket list. We have this big bucket list of items, and
Yeah.
so he gave out a bunch of numbers to audience members, and people would read off basically that bucket list item almost. And so that was kind of keeping it really good pace between, him going through telling some stories and then being able to kind of jump to an audience member. He kind of regathers himself, and then he goes back into the new story, the next chapter of the story, so to speak. But yeah, oh, it was great.
That's
It was
cool.
great.
Sounds like it keeps it fresh too. Like it's not just him talking the whole time.
Right.
Um, did he have
And it is,
any fun audience interactions, or did he make
oh,
anybody do
yeah.
anything? Or
Yeah, well, and I don't want to give too much away. This won't give it away, I suppose. But there was one thing where he had this one woman. He was like, Will you be Mrs. Patterson in the story?" And she's like, "Oh, of course, yeah, of course, I'll be Mrs. Patterson for the story."
Stephanie? It's probably
N-
Stephanie, wasn't it?
I wish. No, it wasn't. It was another lady.
hmm
Um, We'll give her
Denise.
backstory in a little bit. Yeah, we'll give her backstory in a little bit. And her approximate weight. So
I'm embarrassed I asked that now that you say that. I'm embarrassed I brought it up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You shouldn't.
But
I was just trying to get a visual in my head.
so he's trying to ask her, like, so can you be Mrs. Patterson? And she goes, yeah, sure. He goes, now, Mrs. Patterson, she did this thing where she took her shoe off, and then he kind of pauses and just waits for this audience member to take a shoe off. And everyone's kind of chuckling, and she's like, oh, and she takes the shoe off, and he goes, and then what Mrs. Patterson used to do, once her shoe is off, she would then take her sock off and use it like a sock puppet. And then he just paused and just looked at her, and the audience is all chuckling, and this poor woman's like, shit, like shit. And she's like, so she has to take her sock off, use it like a sock puppet, and it became like a part of the show.
So she was barefoot? She had one barefoot?
She was barefoot. Yeah, she was barefoot.
Oh, I had no idea Quentin Tarantino was directing.
That's right. That's right. Directed by
good.
Quentin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was fun though. So there's a lot of moments like that, and you kind of get, if you think about it from like a stand-up lens, there's a lot of that kind of like crowd work kind of tricks you're doing, where people in the audience, they know that the other audience member isn't prepared and they don't know the lines, but just the fact that you're going to them and asking them a question, doesn't really matter how they answer. It's just like gonna be like a silly interaction. Yeah. Because it's a much more forgiving audience watching that. And so
they know, I was gonna say they know it's organic. They know it's real at that point.
Yeah.
Like you said, like improv almost at that point.
Yeah,
like,
they know it's being made up. Yeah, they
Mhm.
know it's being made up. And so yeah, it was really fun. We saw that. And then after that, yeah, we went back, and then we met you at dinner. We're like we stopped back at the hotel. We did like a quick change, and then we like sprinted across, I think it was like 13 blocks or something like that. We sprinted we thought we were late, but turns out we weren't the only late ones, which is good.
Yeah. Meanwhile, while you were at the one-man show with Stephanie, I was navigating the train. I did Hamilton Station. There was a guy at the what do they call it? The deck, the train
Platform?
deck. Platform, thank you. There was at the platform. He was walking up and down, talking to himself. And initially from
Sure.
afar, you're like, uh-oh. But then I realized I think he was maybe on the spectrum or special needs or something. And he came up to me and asked me a question about like track 1 or track 2, what direction it was going. And I told him, and then he just was riffing. He knew a lot about trains. He was really into it. And then
Okay.
he wanted to guess which train was going to come, a double decker or a single decker. And they just got the new line in. So it's going to be a new train or an old train. I said old and single decker. He said double decker and new. I just took whatever he didn't say, basically.
Sure.
But then he kept the train. We were waiting for the train. Then he walks away, still talking to himself, and he forgot about our little bet. And the train comes, and I'll tell you what, it was an older single, and I was right.
He comes sprinting over, double or nothing.
Double or nothing. Money on the ground. He threw money on the ground. No. So then I got on and just I did my usual travel. If I'm by myself, I'm in a movie. I put my headphones on, and the headphones are just a soundscape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Usually I do Olivia Dean, but we've played that off pretty far.
Now, Alex,
you know?
did you see, really quick tangent, the Flyers have adopted Olivia Dean for their victory song? Alex,
I sure
how
have. Fly Guys.
how ahead of things were you? You were.
I know.
You
I know.
just your thumb on the pulse just months ago. We had documentation of it. We had a 3 to 4 to 5 episode arc of it. I'm loving the smile and grin you're giving right now, Alex.
Yeah,
this might be the thumbnail.
Yeah, don't do me. Don't do. I did kind of like my buck. I really emphasized my buck teeth on that, and so if
you don't
that's
have buck
the
teeth, but your
thumbnail
front
that
teeth.
you guys, Well, yeah, my front teeth. I got a Letterman. We get the Letterman. We're doing the tongue on the Letterman thing.
There you go. I really have to do Crest whitening strips. Sorry. So just
Jake, you're great. You look great. Knock
No,
it
I'm drinking too
off.
much coffee. I'm drinking too
'Cause
much
you
coffee.
think you're mellow yellow, but you're not, Jake. It's not
Oh,
yellow. Okay.
Okay. Kind
white.
words, incorrect observation. Thank you very much.
I don't know. I keep doing bad kind of beginning of songs this episode. Maybe that'll stick. So I'm on the train. I'm listening to a bunch of songs. I'm watching it go by, watching the world go by on the train.
Are you looking forward or backward? You're looking forward or backward?
Forward. I
Okay.
passed. I think it was called. Is it Red Bull Stadium that I looked up? It was like the MLS team.
Yeah.
That's on the way.
Yeah.
Was it Red Bull? I don't know if it was Red Bull, but I remember I looked that up. I was just looking out the window, like just admiring, and I could see the city coming up, and it's just nice, just really pleasant. And I had just watched the Sixers get spanked. They got really BTA in that first game.
Yeah. In the first game against the Celtics. Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I can actually get there later because when I looked it up, Alicia, angel that she is, picked a restaurant and made reservations at a restaurant for us all. That must have been a 4-minute walk from Penn Station. It was perfect. So I had the headphones in. I'm kind of in this little malaise. I'm like, this is going to be really nice. This is really, really kind of floating on a cloud, just real light, I felt like Stephanie with a wry smile permanently on my face. And
looking for
then
puns.
I take the headphones out. I get into Penn Station, and then I see a pregnant Puerto Rican woman and her another kid that she's holding, yelling at the woman or the guy behind her, like, you ain't gonna do me like that again. Something like that along those lines. And I was like, oh, I'm in New York. It was like shattered back into New York.
Alex, I'm picturing you just doing a big inhale. Back in New York.
Yep. Yeah, the glass shattered on the subway. Yeah. Reeks of urine. She's yelling at whoever the guy is. We're walking up the staircase to get up to the upper levels from our train platform. But then it's only like even then I took my headphones out and I just went raw dog New York sounds. I just wanted New York blasting through my ears.
Jesus, Alex. Oh my God. Just raw dogging New York City? Oh my God.
Well, I didn't want to
That's
podcast
what I'm putting in the title. I'm putting that in the title.
No.
Alex raw dogs New York City.
I just mean I wasn't listening to music anymore. That's all.
I know.
And then I walked the 4 minutes or so to the restaurant, get there a little early. Nobody was there. We'll talk about you if you want to bring up what happened to Alicia and Acor, but you guys come in right at 6 o'clock. That's when the reservation was. I got there at like 5:45. I got there a little like 15 minutes early. I sat at the bar, just kind of like a diner feel. So it had more of a diner than a bar feel to it.
Yeah.
So kind of cozy. And I got an Italian spritz, which was like an Aperol spritz with like an elderberry something or another, elderflower something, some spring
wasn't the younger
mix.
flower. It was more of the elder flower.
Yeah,
which was
I'd say about 29 years old. Yeah,
there
about
you
29.
go.
Yeah.
It's an old flower.
It's an older flower. And then waited for you guys. And I think I played some chess. I beat some Italian guy in chess, did a rando.
How disrespectful of you to be just sipping on an Italian spritz as you go and play chess against an Italian online, Alex.
I don't know. It's kind of serendipity because it's like random. You know how you get like matched with anybody?
Did you do the Italian opening and spit in his face as you did it? Alex, this is Now that's chess humor because that is a type of.
Yeah,
I realize by the blank. By the
that
blank
is a
stare.
type of chess opening. It's called the Italian opening. And now you can tell why when Jake and I play chess, which we play pretty much every day, right? We have an ongoing game.
Well,
just
we always have an ongoing
inevitable.
game. Yeah, like one move a day.
Yep. And Jake is very good at chess, and I hate it. And you can see why. He actually knows the names of the openings. And I'm just out there free balling, baby. I'm out there
Freestyle, baby.
freestyling. And then you guys got in. And there was the three of us. We got sat. And
We had the spritzes. We had a couple spritzes.
you
with it.
guys jumped in on the party. You guys jumped
Mhm.
in. And then we were like, where on earth? Why is Alicia and Acor so late? What
Yeah.
happened? Where are they? They're not reaching
Help-
out. What happened?
Help remind me because they didn't say anything. And what ended up happening later, probably like 15 minutes into us being there, our agreed time, turns out they go, oh my gosh, you guys, or a train. It was going into the city from Hoboken, from New Jersey. It's coming into the city. It was under the river. So it was underwater. And they are going, and I guess there was a technical issue. And over the loudspeaker, it says, this train is not in operation. And I guess there was a little bit of panic going on.
A technical difficulty announcement while you're underwater is
Yeah.
That's
in
pretty
a tube.
harrowing.
Yeah. And so that's going on. They eventually resume going, but at a much slower pace. And then once they get to their stop, when they all get out, there's like smoke billowing out of the front of the train. And so that was out of commission. So that's when they called us, and then they were able to kind of connect on I think a different subway or something like that. But
Scary.
it wasn't a big issue. I was having fun. We had a great little happy hour.
They only got there like 20, with all of that, they got there maybe 20 minutes later, right? 25.
Not even
it
a
was
big
like, I think
deal,
they
you know.
just were a little shook up or a little frightened by it, I think,
Yeah.
of the potential of what could happen but did not happen.
But yeah, that was a blast. We had a lovely time, caught up with them. They're always the best. They're so fun, do bits with and everything. Alicia's birthday, got to do some drinks and stuff for that. And then, I mean, the next day was a blast too, because then we all, well, I guess we walk back a little bit. That was a fun time.
Oh, yeah. I had a real...
Elisa had the little pen that we got, the like weed pen thing. So that was a little nightcap, but we're doing that on the walk home. So
it was probably
between
20 blocks that we walked or so, like 20-minute walk back to the hotel, right?
Probably just under 20, because Lisa and I made it, and we were kind of like sprinting it, and then but yeah, it's like right through Times Square. You go from like south of Times Square to north of Times Square, and it was probably like 15 blocks. Yeah, I think it was like 39th, like 55th or something. In
So
that
you
range,
can imagine, guys, listening. We're pretty lathered up. The banana bread has already been eaten for dessert.
Banana bread,
and
quite a few spritzes. There was some
a lot of those. Yep, Italian spritzes. So we're lathered up walking back, and then a couple tootskis off of Lisa LJ's.
Still don't know how I feel about that description. Yeah, the tootski.
A puff, a hit, a puff. Rip.
There you go.
There
you go.
Anyway, took a tootski, walked through Times Square. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is... And you know what it felt like? It felt like when we were running interference on Mario Kart. You said that, I think, or Lisa said that when we were walking back.
Well, the three of us we're going from like 3 wide to single file line to different leader.
Yeah, we're all separating in the chaos of Times Square. I swear they were so funny. One guy with a stroller walking through Times Square going, excuse me, like he didn't know the Times Square would be packed. Like it was everybody else's problem. Like
you know what I realized is that on the walk, you know what? Now I'm realizing the tootski is probably why I had my building above me thought. Is probably what.
yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
okay.
that'll do it.
Now it's coming together.
It's
Yeah, that
coming
makes more
together.
sense.
But then, I mean,
Um,
it was a really nice hotel because
yeah,
you guys had already checked in. That was my first impression. Was like lathered up, little high. Walking in, and there's that fish tank in the lobby. That
big
fish
fish
tank.
tank, big
That was
big fish
cool.
tank. Ceiling to floor,
Hmm.
cylinder type of thing. Yeah, that was cool to see. It was funny. I forgot this on the first day, but we were on the ferry ride back from Staten Island and getting back to the back to our hotel. It was probably I don't know 20 or 15-ish stops on the subway,
Hmm.
and on our way back, we we were trying to think of different movies to watch, like New York-based movies. I'd love people's opinions on this
Hmm.
because we were trying to brainstorm. We ended up going with The Dark Knight, which
Yeah.
is Gotham. That's Gotham.
Yeah.
It's not New York,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it is kind of an imagining. But the kicker was in The Dark Knight, they have the ferries, which the Staten Island ferry was used for that. So we were just on those.
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
that was part of the reasoning there. Actually, great movie, really holds up. But as we were on the subway, we were making our way back, and we had those couple of those margaritas. I apologize, I'm backtracking in the story so much, but this just popped in my head,
Sure.
and I forgot this was
Hmm.
chronologically before. But as we were making our way back on the subway, um, we're just sitting there, we're waiting, and we're just chatting a little bit about which movie. And on one of the stops, these three gay guys walk in. Two were probably about our age. One of them was just an older guy, and he was with the group. And they're chatting, and at some point on the conversation, the one mentions Survivor 50, and
Oh,
Elisa
yeah,
immediately
you
perks
guys.
up and goes, "Excuse me, are you guys talking about Survivor?" And they all were like, oh yeah, we are. Oh yeah. One guy was very adamant. He was just
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh my God." And he was just going in on it was funny because you could tell the dynamic between them. The one guy was just negative about everything, and the other guy was like, "No, you don't understand." And that they were that was their dynamic. And so
Sure.
we were going back and forth on the different characters. He was talking about like different seasons. He was really into it, but I guess the third older guy, he's like, "I have no idea what you guys are talking about. It sounds like you're talking sounds like you're talking a different language." Like,
Oh,
you
that's me.
guys.
That's me. I'm that guy.
Yeah.
That's like you guys were talking at dinner about Survivor and
Mhm.
like some of the characters and the strategy and this is why Benjamin never did that and but she could play that card because she had the men wrapped around her finger, but not
Yeah.
this time. And
Yeah.
and I in that moment I was that gay guy, but like this is a different language. I don't understand any of this. I need banana bread. Like I need some banana bread.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, that show, I mean, it transcends sexuality, Alex. The whole thing, it doesn't
you know what?
matter. It
That's the
doesn't
tagline.
matter.
That's the tagline, Jake.
There we
That's what
go.
the name of the episode is. The
Uh,
show transcends sexuality.
Sexuality.
Going yard.
Yeah, colon raw doggy New York City. There we go.
Oh gosh.
So
Now,
I apologize. I lost us. I derailed
I know
us.
exactly where the pin is. I know.
There we go.
I'm going to pick up the bookmark and I'm gonna get us back on
Alex,
track here.
I'm so sorry, Alex. I'm a New Yorker now. I'm so used to switching different lines. So I go
Yep.
from one subway to the next. So I
Yeah.
derailed us. We're getting back on the red line. Here we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
What was
you
the pin?
bracively jumped in the middle of that story
I'm
just to
so
beat the light.
sorry.
Just to beat the light. That's
No,
New York Walker review.
that is.
Where we were is we got done with the dinner. We're all lathered up, had
Yeah.
a tootski, walked through Times Square. Really fun, really great vibes. You guys said, "All right, good night." We had checked in the day before. See ya. I check in with the guy. He says you got some free peanuts that came with the room, I guess. Is these nice nuts, 2 drink vouchers, which I didn't get to use. They were 2 for 1 drink
Oh,
vouchers. We didn't stay for that second
it
night. It
was a
was just the one
happy hour,
night.
right? It was like a timing thing.
Exactly. We were at we had the Colbert the next day, and so we didn't go back to that bar. But then I went up to my room. I was on the 8th floor. I had that real feeling that I had forgotten. You only get it in New York City, where when the windows open and you see all the other lights in the other windows of the other buildings, you just feel like
Mm.
an ant in one of those colonies. You know what I mean? You're just
Uh-huh.
like looking at all the other ants. We're all so small, and everybody's got their TV going, and it's just like city that never sleeps kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And I have a nice hot shower, and then I throw on the hockey game. Not much of a hockey guy, but now I'm a hockey guy
You're
because
lathered up. Yeah.
lathered up. The Bruins are playing. The Flyers have been playing great. So I'm like, maybe I should watch the other teams too. And I'm not ready to go to bed. We got there pretty early. And it was the Bruins were up 2-0 on the Buffalo Sabres. And it's
Mm.
Buffalo, New York too. So I'm like, here we go, New York. And also screw Boston, right? And
Yeah.
they score a goal. And I'm like, okay, nice, respectable. It's like third period. They score the goal. So it's 2-1. They're in striking distance. I start flipping through on my phone. I'm watching this old Owen Wilson video of when he was pretending to be a skateboarder in about 2003. I don't know if you've ever seen that video. I
Yeah.
am in a deep YouTube rabbit hole, is what I'm trying to say. I
Uh-huh.
am checked out of the hockey game, but it's on the background. They score a second goal, and I look up from my Owen Wilson video and go, oh, whoa, here we go. Here we go. And then I open the nuts. I'm opening the nuts. I'm like, okay, Sabres. Here we go, Sabres, because I was tied. And like 20 seconds later, they score another goal. The place is like
Oh,
vibrating through the screen. They're up 3-2. It's like 3 goals in like a couple minutes in the third period, the last period. And
oh.
then they score an empty netter to put it away, 4-2 final. Sabres. And I'm like, New York, baby. New York, baby.
What's so funny is you're lathered up, you're eating nuts, you're watching Owen Wilson, you're like, Sabres! And then you just cut to like 7, 8 stories below you. I'm just going, this isn't structurally sound.
I'm going to
This is
die.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Uh, it was
Yeah.
fun. I will say, I really enjoyed our morning as well. It was we got to sleep in quite a bit
Mhm.
after that, and then we
Mhm.
ended up uh, hooking back up. It was great because you could just check out of the hotel, but then leave your bags. That was
That was
incredible.
great that they held
So
him for
helpful.
that. Yeah. Yeah, because we
Um,
we checked out. I got up a little bit. I'll just bring up this little bit here, because I told you about this morning. I went downstairs hunting around for a coffee,
that's
and
right.
and I that
And that was
morning.
the hotel bar. Was that the hotel bar, or what was
So it
the
wasn't a bar
restaurant?
because I had my vouchers. I'm like, do you guys take these vouchers? That's when I learned that I couldn't get it in the morning. I thought maybe I could get
Right.
something in the morning, but
Yeah.
I but they sent me to the adjacent or the connected restaurant. I believe it's called Seraphin restaurant there. And they point me over there, and I'm just looking for a coffee. And I get in there, there's nobody. There's one guy at the bar, and he's drinking and he's watching like CNN or something. He's watching the news. And I go to the server, and I said, I just want a coffee. Can I get one here? He goes, absolutely. He rushes over. He just breaks a glass, just breaks a glass right in front of me. And he
No.
goes, let me get, sorry, let me get this. And then the guy from the bar, he stands up. Turns out he was the manager of that restaurant for the
Oh,
hotel there. And he goes, let me get you a coffee and a new glass. He kind of like jokingly, and he gave
oh
me a
yeah.
high five hug. Do you know that move? The
Uh-huh.
hands hug. It's like a
Power
hand hug
move.
high five. He gave me one of those because he was like, I think he's trying to cover up for the fact that one of his employees just broke a glass at my feet.
Sure.
And so then they get me the coffee, and I'm sitting at the bar next to him. And I think he's still trying to keep conversation after that little event. And he goes, what do you do? And now, little background for me is I've been interviewing different places. I've been interviewing at this one place where I would do real estate lending. So I would do lending for folks, and basically real estate development. And so as practice, I've been doing a lot of research about it for the interviews and things like that, and to prepare for the role. I, in this moment, said, this is a good time to just go through this. And so I told him that's what I do, even though I don't do that at all. I've
love
never done it.
this. I love,
And
live the life. See how it feels. Walk around a bit. Try
it's
the
like a
shoes
mock
on.
interview. Yeah,
Try
it's like
the
a mock
shoes
interview.
on.
But so I had some information in the back of my head about, some of the different interest rates and what was going on in the market in Philadelphia. And so I told him what I do. That's what I said I did. And he goes, no way. And he bust out this leather bound sort of book. He unzips it and he's got paperwork in there and in this leather bound sort of folder. And he goes, I have a deal that I'm closing this week. Could you look at this for me? And he slides it over to me, and then he comes over even closer. So like two seats down. Now he's right next to me. And he's going over the specs of the house. I go, yeah, I can look at this for you. Absolutely. And so I'm looking at this deal. I go, oh yeah, 1.2, huh? Oh, 4-bed, 4-bath in New York, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good neighborhood. Yep. And I am riffing. I don't know anything. I'm telling him about 1031 exchanges with investment portfolios, and he's getting kind of excited about this. And he goes, and I say, but I got to be honest with you. I work out of Philadelphia. I'm from PA.
Thank
I
God
don't know
you're
the New
honest.
York game.
Thank God.
I know. I'm going to be honest with you now. And he goes, right. He goes, do they have anything in like the 400, 500K range? I go, oh yeah. Great market fit. Supply, much better.
A lot
much
of
better
inventory.
if you want to get your beak wet. And I'm drinking my coffee. Clearly, I'm way too confident. He goes, you know what? Here's my card. He gives me his business card. He goes, let's connect this week. And I want your opinion, not just on this, but maybe on a Philadelphia property, because then we could connect on that, because I don't want to be managing this restaurant forever. I want an exit plan. And I go, I'll help you get there. And took the card, put it in my wallet, still have it. And then
Alex. Oh.
Yeah. Then I got coffee. Yeah. Then I met you guys. I sat in the lobby, did my little, I had my coffee. I was kind of keyed up, pretty excited about that interaction. Sat in the lobby, looked at the fish tank, and played some Wordle, played some connections, a little chess, and just waited. I think you guys were up only a half an hour or so after that whole exchange there.
Yeah. And that was, I hope you nail this interview now, and this is your first client. That would be, I think we have to demand a follow-up if that ends up happening on the pod here.
Yeah, fingers crossed with the job. Yeah, I had the interview today. The interview went quite well today.
Nice.
And so,
fingers crossed.
So yeah, we'll see.
Awesome.
If I get the job, I will absolutely reach out to that guy, and with my brand new work email. With the company name.
There. Yeah.
And an updated LinkedIn headline. Yeah. So that was how I started that morning. And then you guys come into the fray. You guys come into the lobby, and then we kind of start our day.
Checked the bags, made our walk. It was great. We went all the way. We went up to Columbus Circle, right on the corner of Central Park. We all got some coffee. I got a bagel. I lived out my NFL GM dream that I've talked about on this podcast, where I own the New York Jets, and I'm trying to reboot this sorry organization, and I've got a bagel and a coffee. I'm walking around. People are going, oh, what are we going to do with the draft, Yardley? I go, I don't know. What are we going to do with the city, you guys? Anyway, get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah, it's an everything bagel.
Yeah. But No, it was so fun. The three of us just
Mhm.
walking around, shooting the shit. I loved Alex. I mean, a little update to the listeners here. Alex is fully invested in the Bird app now. The one that
Yeah.
listened to us, it was a targeted
From this
ad.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it immediately popped up in the feed. Alex is now Pokemon going with birds. And you got,
I'm
what was it,
deep,
rock
dude.
pigeon? Was it a rock
I
pigeon
got a
you got?
rock pigeon, and dude, wasn't it like
Such
all
a
white?
good-
It looked like albino, dude. That was pretty
Yeah.
rare. I feel like I should have gotten something for that. But you saw me after I got the rock pigeon. We saw another mallard, which
That's right.
never sad seeing a mallard.
No. Where's the hat? Where's the hat, Alex?
I don't have it on me. I don't have it on
Okay.
me. It's
No mallard hat.
downstairs.
No mallard hat.
I think when I was with you after that rock pigeon ad, I think I got a beginner badge.
Look
And
at you.
so
Look at
I'm
you.
like chugging
Alex,
along.
this is
Mhm.
Pokemon, dude. You got the first badge. This
Yeah, I
is
did.
this is this is perfect.
Yeah, I
This
did.
is absolutely incredible.
It's no
Now,
big deal. It's no big deal.
I can't wait. Let me know when you battle the Elite Four. Let me know if the rock pigeon makes the squad by then. That'd be
Dude,
incredible.
Yeah, it's a sighting
there's the badge.
beginner, and it's a little seagull with glasses on. It's
What
a
was
pretty
it?
sick
Was it
badge.
because is it that type of bird? Or
Great
was
question.
it the amount of birds that you've
I
now
logged
hit?
10 sightings for science. It said so.
For
I've had 10.
science.
Yeah.
There you go.
And
Now, Alex,
yeah.
you know how like Pokemon Go ended up coming out like a couple months ago, talking
Yes.
about it was basically
Yeah.
just a big data
geo-mapping?
collection. Yeah, geo mapping. What do you think this one is? You think it's
yeah, this one is how our AI overlords will exterminate different species of birds, it sounds like. It's like, what's the
went so
darkest thing I could
dark.
come up with?
Yeah, that was pretty dark.
I was going for the extreme.
Yeah.
Extreme. Or you know what?
No.
This is how they save migration patterns, Jake. This is the other extreme. Other extreme.
Yeah.
This is how they save birds in the wild. And
I mean, it's
we
for
get connected.
science. 10
For
sightings
science.
for science, you know. So it could be
So maybe
positive.
it helps with migration patterns and sightings for birds and these people. I did get one follower. Somebody followed me on the bird app.
They go,
One
is that
follower.
a beginner bird sighting badge? I gotta follow this guy. Gee, is
What
that a
can I
fucking rock
say?
pigeon? Oh my
What can
god.
I say? I got a red-breasted robin, baby.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the red breast, they were around. What?
I said red-breasted robin, baby, and it was just like a real pregnant pause and go, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You know what? Call
No.
me ignorant, Alex, but whenever I see a red-breasted robin, I always think cardinal initially, and that's on
Yeah.
me because it's a
Yeah.
full red. It's not just the chest. It's a difference there.
And you know what's sick about the cardinal is it's got a little mohawk, and that's how you
cool.
know. Look for the mohawk.
You know what I've been told, and I think we might have talked about this, but I didn't realize I used to like blue jays, but apparently they're assholes. Is that right? Have you heard about this?
Wow, I don't know. I've been looking for a blue jay because I know they're indigenous to at least this area, so they're one of the common birds in my area.
Yeah,
it gives me that information. So I've been looking for
northeast.
them recently. I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that.
When you find it, maybe you do a little background check the Pokedex, see what it says in the entry, and see if there's a little bit of description about temperament, maybe, or maybe how it interacts with other birds.
IVs are or EVs, and see where that is.
Oh, there we go.
Pokemon reference. That's a
Pokemon humor.
That one's for like Colton
Italian opening. We're getting some real big jokes here. This is belly laughs from some people and some blank stares from others.
Yeah, this is very esoteric. It's like only specifically one listener at a time will be laughing at this episode.
Yes. That was very fun. And then we ended up the thing that really got me was, so we ended up going back to the suggestion map and seeing what bars and restaurants we should hit up.
Mm-hmm.
ends up
Yeah.
being one of Kyle's favorite bars in the
Mhm.
city. And so it's pretty close. It's walkable. We make our way there, and
It's
we're
it's
now
called
at
it's
what
called
is this?
Rudy's. It's called
That's
Rudy's.
right.
Mhm.
Rudy's. Yeah. And we're probably at what time do you think this is, Alex? Probably like 11, 12?
30 or so, Jake. It was. I know what
It
you're
was,
leading up to.
yeah.
The
I'm trying to
time at the
remember
time
the
you're talking
timing.
about, it was probably around like 12:30 by the time you're talking about. So it's
Okay.
probably like 11:30 maybe when we're
Yeah.
walking
So
over there.
we end up making our way there, and they have a pig out front, like the statue pig. We get a photo with that. We send it to Kyle. And Kyle's
Rudy.
recommendation is the All American Special. That's why
Yeah.
that
Yeah, it
special
was.
is
Oh,
what
it was
makes
special.
this
Oh,
place his favorite.
uh
And the All American is a beer shot. What'd you call it, Alex?
a meat pistol, baby.
A meat
A hot
pistol.
dog.
And a hot dog for $5. And so
Guys,
I guess
guys,
Kyle,
Jim Beam and Rudy's draft and a meat pistol. $5.
yeah,
Come on.
five
Come on.
bucks at 12 o'clock on a Monday. We took off Monday. We took off
Yep.
Monday. We extended the weekend so that we could do the Colbert show. It was Monday afternoon. And so we're trying to burn some time. And boy, did we. We had
Yeah.
what was it? Well, we had a couple a few we had what, All American each of us, Lisa,
Yep.
you and I. And
Yep.
then
That got up
it's
to us to
fun.
cruising altitude. We got up to cruising
Yeah.
altitude from
It
there.
was funny. We got in there, we're looking around, and I was like, why is this Kyle's favorite? Like, such a weird crowd. And I go, oh, yeah, it's noon on a Monday. That's probably why the crowd is a little out there.
But still, dude, even noon on a Monday, I felt a real sense of community in that place, and it was
I know.
dark. It was so
Yeah,
dark.
it's gotta
The
be.
window,
It's gotta be. You
it's
kidding me?
gotta be.
Can't drink with the
It-
sun out. Ah,
and you know what's great? Remember, we're in New York, obviously, and the Red Sox game is on, and I
yeah.
had ripped down a meat pistol and the All American, and we're looking at our next victim on the draft table, and I see the Red Sox game on, and I just had this feeling, just like a lightning bolt strike through me, where I go, "Fuck this Sox! Fuck this Sox!" I just felt like a New
The
Yorker. Felt like
fully
a full New
fully
Yorker.
involved with the New York sports scene.
Yeah,
That was fun. We were there for a few hours. I think I had a couple of pitchers in there, a couple of pitchers of beer as
maybe.
well.
Yeah, maybe.
Memory serves. Then
Mhm.
walked to Colbert. I think that was it. Yeah, we walked right there. And that was just a blast. Just from the very
From jump.
beginning, Alicia hooked it up. We got the VIP line, so it was much shorter wait. Make our way in. Had to go to the
Well, we should
bathroom for
say
sure.
Alicia. For those that don't know Alicia, she is the head of her department for the Colbert Show. She's the head of the
Social
social
media
media
team.
department.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
she
she's been there for
does.
6 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was very fun because she definitely gave us a really cool look where we got to go in there, check it out. It was the taping. What I'm trying to remember the timing because that was probably 3, 4. Taping started at like 5:30, give or
We
take.
got there at like 3:30, and I think like what it said on the online or something was to get there at 4. So like the
Yeah.
line was pretty established, but the VIP line was shorter, which was great. And they gave us
Yeah.
like direct access to the bathroom first, which was amazing after what we had just done.
Couple of All-Americans. Yeah, needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
But
And
we
so
didn't we get a pizza and a coffee too to kind of level ourselves out a bit?
that's right. On the in between, on the walk over, we
Hmm.
had to do the classic, just like $1.50 slice, whatever, New
It was
York
awesome.
City. Yeah,
Yeah. I
had to
got a
hit that for
margarita.
sure.
Yep.
That was really good. And then the show, man, it was just a well-oiled machine. Like you just get in there.
Hmm.
It's the Ed Sullivan Theater where Letterman used to go. And so you walk in there, they've got the lines, they're ready, they push you in there, they got music going, they got the lights, the band ends up coming out, and I felt like it went pretty quick. Like it was kind
Hmm.
of like I felt like a while waiting in the very
Hmm.
beginning, But once it started moving, the show itself, like they're writing all day, they just kind of hit it. Steven comes out, hits his mark, he does his monologue. I think there was one
He flubbed
misstep.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah, he
flubbed
flubbed one.
one and then he had to redo it. But that was the only one. And
Yeah,
then,
and it wasn't too bad. Also, how about the warm-up comic, huh? He was
of
like
course, yeah, Paul.
Pavlov's dogs, huh? He got the whole
Yeah,
audience like
yeah,
trained by the end of his set. It was like
yeah,
10 or 15 minutes of training the crowd on how to react and applause and get everybody loud. And
yeah,
he was really good at what he did. He was very good.
yeah. You could tell he does it a lot and he just hits the beats and he goes through it. Uh, but yeah, it did feel like a little bit like a dolphin trainer where it's just kind of like getting people to be loud, do their thing. Yeah, really. I mean, it was cool. We got to see Don Cheadle was nice. That was a fun guest to
Yeah,
see. I didn't realize he was on Broadway. That was a fun
that's
little
pretty cool.
surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don Cheadle, and then it was Jake Tapper from CNN, which I guess him and Stephen Colbert have a long history that they kind of talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the point because the last show is in May. All the guests bring like gifts and things like that
Yeah.
uh, uh to Stephen. And so Don brought, what was that, a signed playbill from the whole cast,
Yeah.
I
And
believe.
then Jake Tapper was there and he brought a painting that he painted himself of Stephen as Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I had a coworker. I told him I went to the taping. He goes, "No way! Last night's episode, I watched it." He took us. He took a screenshot from the painting of Gollum, and then he took a picture of me from like LinkedIn, and he put it into Chat GPT to have my face on the Gollum and
What?
sent it to me. And he goes, Jake,
Wow.
I think he goes, check this out. I go, what the I go, where'd you get this? He goes, it's the exact photo that he painted. And I put your face. And I was like, oh, cool. Yeah.
Look out for that guy. Just be on your toes around that guy. I don't know who he
He's
is. I don't know
super
what he
sweet,
means to you.
super nice guy.
They always
Very.
are, Jake. The killers always are.
Yeah, no, he's a super funny guy.
No, that's
So I
funny.
got that.
That's
I
fun.
got that the other day. And then yeah, after that we clears out and Alicia, I mean, really hooked it up with all the photo, like did a full tour. We got to go on stage in front of the table
Desk.
and the desk and
Mhm.
yeah, the desk and chairs, and then went backstage to the green rooms, the makeup artist room.
The wings where the guests stand right before
Mm-hmm.
they're about to come out and do their entrance. That was pretty cool. I got a picture of you three there.
I liked a lot. I liked the elephant columns, which they were a piece of history from the 1950s. I want to say, is that right,
Yeah, you tell
Alex?
it. 52. So do
52,
you remember it?
where
I could
the
tell it if you
Ed
don't remember it.
Sullivan. So the
Mhm.
Ed Sullivan Show, because it's Ed Sullivan Theater, that used to be the Ed Sullivan Show, ended up having. Remind me the name Barney.
Oh, Barnum and Bailey, Ringling Brothers. Ringling
Yes,
Brothers,
the
Barnum and
Ringling
Bailey. Yep.
Brothers, to
Hmm.
kind of promote their show. They came on Ed Sullivan, but in order to promote the show, they wanted to bring the elephants, and they weren't sure if the theater was going to support the elephants. So they had to put in additional columns, support beams, to be able to ensure that they could support the weight of the elephants, which, by the way, Alex, this doesn't help my fear of sleeping low down in a building.
Yeah.
But anyway, those columns are still there, and there's a mural of the elephants and a little plaque and everything. So that was cool. That was cool to check out.
Very cool piece of history, and wild to think that they got elephants in there because it's like so
Yeah.
tight. Like it's so tiny. Well, not
Yeah.
tiny, but all the rooms we went in. We went into the lighting director's office first and met the lighting director, which you said earlier we have the three gays on the
Survivor.
subway and
Yeah.
Survivor.
So the
Yeah,
lighting,
yeah, go ahead.
Alicia tees up and go like, it's so cool because she knows everybody and everyone knows her. So she kind of
Hmm.
knocks on the door and goes, hey, this is Greg or whatever his name is, like the lighting guy. And she turns to us because she knows we're huge Survivor fans and goes, he did lighting for Survivor.
Mhm,
And she points to some of the memorabilia from the set
mhm,
design and some of the seasons that he helped work on. Now, I didn't hear her exactly correctly. So what I heard was, this is Greg. He's a big, here's all his memorabilia. So I thought he's
mhm.
a massive fan. And I go, what do you think of 50? Huh? What do you think of the new season? And he just goes, I have no idea. I just work on it. I was like, oh, never mind. Never mind.
Just a
Like, you could
job.
care
Hey,
less.
hey, man,
Yeah.
it's just a job to me.
Yeah. Yeah. But he had some really cool stuff. He had some really cool memorabilia from some of the different seasons.
He seemed like a really nice guy. Pretty much everyone we met was very, very nice because then we
Yeah.
walked across down the hall to one of the dressing rooms, I believe. And so we saw
Couple
one
of
of the
them.
dressing
There's
rooms.
a
Yeah,
few of
yeah.
them.
But then the next thing was the costume and makeup room as well, with some of the costume and makeup directors. And they had remember they had that little fire in there? Um, they were like right below the stage, they said. So it gets
Mm.
really chilly in there. So they had a little like fire kind of
Oh,
going,
oh, yes. The little, like
like
space heater.
fireplace.
Space heater.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's right.
Um, but they were cool. They were like just I don't know, all nice and very friendly and like appreciative and like took the time to even just say hello. I thought was surprising.
So
Usually,
cool.
like,
It's so
mhm,
funny too because the show's ending and there's a lot of jokes of everyone and they're like, take whatever, we're not going to be
mhm,
here anymore, like.
yeah,
Or Alicia just kept being like, yeah, you want some snacks from the break room, take them, we don't care.
yep,
Like, um yeah,
yeah.
that was
Because
cool. That was
the
fun.
next room, yeah, the next room was the rewrite room. The rewrite
Mm-hmm.
room, which that was really cool. I got a picture of it was signed, um, and it had funny Colbert quotes of over the years. Of it's like the room
Well,
where
some of the writers as well.
right. And like it's like where it's called the rewrite room. It's where they rewrite the script right before they go on and kind of hammer out some of the jokes and go over everything. So that was just awesome to see and be in there. Definitely took a radish off of the veggie tray that was in
Oh,
there. She said, "Take
Alex,
anything you like."
you
I
took
said, "Sure."
Steven's radish.
I
What a
sure did.
oh
I
my
did.
god.
I
I
did
think
it.
Lisa and I had some of that apple turnover thing in the break room. That was pretty great.
Oh, that was good.
That was
That
really
was very
good.
good. I had some pretzel bites with the peanut butter in it. They had that at the break room too.
Yeah, pretty
So I had
cool.
that.
And then the rooftop was awesome. Seeing the rooftop
Yeah.
and checking out because we got there because again it was pretty quick. Like by the time it started at like 5, we were probably it's like 7:30. By the
Yeah.
time it let out, because
Mhm.
we checked out the rooftop. Alicia had to finish a couple things, and then we grabbed drinks, and that was probably like I don't know 7 to 8, like an hour and a half,
Yeah.
hanging out, shooting the shit.
Mhm.
Had a drink at that new spot. But, it was crazy just that like, I mentioned this in the beginning, but being able to go from, like we were right next to Times Square. Like, we were right next to it. We're having a drink, and she's like, "Alright, well, I should get back. I gotta finish up some things." And we're like, "Okay." And then we just walk back, grab our stuff from the hotel, make it to the subway, go to the station, make it home, and we're, like, at home in bed by like 11:30, something like
It
that.
was right before it was 11:45 start time. I as soon as I got home and I was in my bedroom, I put on the TV and the show was just about to start. It was like
Yeah.
perfect timing. It was
Yeah,
pretty wild. It was great.
it was crazy to just be I think because for New York seems like such a big thing, and to be able to just be that close and then to go from like having a drink 8:30 to like being at home watching the show is like
Mhm.
such a surreal thing. It felt like such a quick little jaunt over, which was cool.
This
Um,
was jaunt.
yeah.
Incredible. This was a small aside, but what about the train ride back? Remember that woman that
Oh
kept
my
going up
god.
and down? Remember that? That was
One
kind
woman
of
who I think she was doing it to get a free ride because she was basically just yelling and screaming. And at one point in the very beginning, she goes, this is why we got the divorce, or something about a divorce or something like that.
Yep.
And you're like, oh my God, just some woman having a crazy conversation on the phone.
And
A
and we
couple of
all
us,
looked up. Yeah, and we all
yeah,
looked at each other, right? With not just us, but the people around us, you know?
that was a fun little bonding thing. Yeah. Where
Mhm.
the people on the train were like, wow, crazy, crazy thing. And then she came back like 2 more times after that, where she
Yeah.
was saying some crazy things. Yeah.
Something about a prostitute of some kind,
Yeah, I
and
think the guy was trying to like check her ticket and she was just pretending she was on the phone yelling obscene things so that he would
mhm.
leave her alone. But I have no idea if it worked or not. I don't know.
The guy that we looked at and had a small bonding experience with, like, that was crazy, right? There's also a woman behind us that she, like, was like, "Well, I wanna know what happened with the divorce." Like, she was like,
Yeah, right.
wanted the tea, I think she said even at one point.
Yeah.
Um, she, like, we wouldn't have talked to her otherwise. She, like, when she got up off her stop, she's like, "Okay, bye, guys." You know, like, "See
Yeah.
ya." And then when that guy, the other guy, the separate guy that when he got up and left, he was like, "I gotta go check on my marriage. See you guys," because of the
Hmm.
divorce, and, like, he was making just a joke, and it was just a fun little interaction. It's like a fun little
Very
people being
fun.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. Um, yeah. And then going back. But what a great fun start to the week. There was that. Um, now you mentioned the Sixers already. Did you watch the game two? Did you watch
Oh,
this?
yeah, I did.
They
Yeah,
won?
I did.
Yeah,
Oh, buddy. Is VJ Edgecombe not just awesome?
the
Is he not
best.
just, like,
The
he's
best.
c did you see when he cooked Peyton Pritchard, and then perfectly found the camera and did the perfect
Winked?
wink.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah, that was pretty
this
awesome.
guy is a rookie, and he's
Yeah.
playing like a 10-year veteran with a championship ring, like, level of confidence.
I honestly feel
Like
like there's times because he always defers to Maxi. I do think there's times where he's kind of like almost holding back. Like he wants to be doing more, but it feels like he's always at like 3/4 speed. Like he's not
mhm,
fully sprinting. He's not fully, it almost feels like but it's, he doesn't need to. He has such a crazy,
mhm.
he just seems very smooth. And I kind of think he's getting that from Paul George. That's his rookie. That's Paul
That's his
George's
mentor.
rookie. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's pretty awesome to see him getting the Paul George smooth like ability to kind of navigate,
Mhm,
defend, do a lot of different things, be a role guy and fit in with the team. Like really
mhm.
kind of awesome actually. The thing I had this thought of the Steph Curry and Clay were the Splash Bros. And I think
Yeah.
VJ and Maxi should be the Slash Bros because they're just
Dude, that's
incredible.
really good. I
Right?
like that. And also, I
Isn't
did
that?
not read this far ahead. This is my first time seeing it. I did not read this far ahead in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
Slash Bros. This is like my first gut reaction. I off jump really like it. Now I know VJ Max is what people are pushing,
I know. I
is
know.
like the big one, but Slash Bros is very good based off their play style because they
Yes.
do
They're
really
great.
slash.
They're
Yeah, and
very
cut.
explosive. They can get to the basket.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's a fun one. I'm gonna keep workshopping it, but I think it's
No,
pretty
that's
solid.
really good.
I'm
I
gonna
like
start
that a lot.
feathering it into conversation a little bit. I'm gonna just start sprinkling it in here and there.
Get in front of some test audiences, see how it plays, do
Hmm.
something like that. I'm a sicko, and I watch the post game press conferences of this one,
Oh, had to.
of VJ and Paul George. And Jake, you're right on the money. He is even in the press conference mentoring him what to say, kind of how to say it, giving him confidence to say it a little bit. And what they said it, one of the questions was, how did you guys bounce back from that game one? VJ said, well, a lot of the guys told me if I'm open, I just got to shoot it. I just got to shoot it. And so I think you're
Yeah,
right. He really did let it fly, and he
yeah,
really did like got to be more aggressive, and he shot the three really well. He was 6 for 10 from 3-point land.
It was awesome.
He
Well,
looked
they were leaving.
incredible.
I mean, it was awesome. I do think Boston's going to bounce back really, really hard, and I
For
think they're
sure.
going to.
This could be the
Yeah,
only game they win. This could be the
yeah,
only game they win, and that's realistic probability. Yeah.
yeah. And I think they'll win and adjust by the defense they were playing was
Mhm.
really like it was leaving open shots. Like the difference was the 3-point shooting, I think, for sure, between both teams. I think that
Drop
really
coverage.
helped. Yeah, like
Yeah.
them missing threes and us hitting threes, like I think those two things really helped. But now,
But that happened in game 1 on the opposite end. So it is kind of like the variance of shooting, it seems like,
yeah,
where both teams could say the same thing, but they are like it's more fun to me to cheer and be optimistic. I
I
think
know.
people
I
on the
know.
podcast know, like, I want to cheer for a team and hope they do well. I don't want to be proven right that they're gonna suck and be awful. I already
Yeah.
know that that's the highest probability thing. I
Yeah.
want to put my hopes when it comes to sports. I want to have fun putting my hopes in the long shot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
It's like
that's
this is a
fun. Yeah.
it's a hobby, right? Why choose to be angry and upset? Why don't
Yeah.
you choose to enjoy your hobby and like
Yeah.
get something out of it? And then again, like we said, realistically, they'll probably lose the next three.
Probably will. That's
No
okay. Yeah.
disillusions. No
Yeah.
disillusions. Doesn't mean I can't enjoy what happened and what could still happen. They haven't played yet.
Yeah.
Just because it's realistic and likely doesn't mean it's gonna happen. And I think that some of the best things in sports are the unlikely, watching the unlikely happen, you know? Watch it,
And
the
also,
underdog.
I mean, Boston has owned us for like since like 1982. The
Yeah.
Sixers have not won a playoff series against them. Dr. J was on the team. And so Maxey hitting a reverse layup and getting an
Oh,
and one to close the
yelling it.
game out and yelling in a silent, was it Boston Garden or whatever that it's TD Garden or whatever it's called? Who cares? With the parquet, it was dead silent, and he is yelling and one at their bench and at their fans. Pretty
Very cathartic.
cathartic.
Very
Yeah.
cathartic. Very cathartic. Yes.
Yeah. That was honestly, if that's all we get out of this series, I'm okay with that. As long as like VJ, knock on wood, is healthy and good to go. I just want to see the two of the Slash Bros. I want to see the Slash Bros the next like 4 or 5 years, basically. That's got me optimistic about the team.
It's
Um,
gonna be yeah. Those
mhm.
two, I think just keeping them together and figuring out another running partner, another crew. I mean, it is like I do think Paul George looks surprisingly good this series. Like I'm very pleasantly surprised with his defensive activity is kind of what I didn't
Yes.
really think about.
Hmm.
He's actually awesome and he's got very long arms. He'll just poke at passing lanes and
Yep.
really disrupt stuff. He had one where it's like they were just trying to pass it and he just batted it down. It
Hmm.
was fantastic. Um,
That no, I know exactly what you're talking about because it went out of bounds and then they only had 3 seconds left on the shot clock, so they couldn't run anything. So it
yeah,
effectively was like a turnover in the
yeah,
in end result. Um, his game ages well, Paul George. His game ages well.
yeah.
Um,
Now he's
so
still super expensive, whatever. But as far as like having
yeah.
him, like money aside and roster construction aside, very cool. Like love having him on the team. Like if he was,
Hmm.
it reminds me a lot of like Tobias Harris, where like the contract's not great, but like the player's solid. Like he's like a way better player. His contract's way worse, but the player himself is awesome. Um,
I'm right there with
now,
you.
real quick, NFL draft is probably going to be happening the day this is released.
Hmm.
So that'll be fun. Any
Uh-huh.
quick predictions for you on who you think the Eagles might get or anything they might do on that first day there?
Now I have to give credence and I have to give credit to I get a lot of my information from the Philly Special podcast.
Yes.
They're very good and I like what they do. Bleeding Greed Nation does very good work. So I got a lot of my that's just like my source material. And I feel like they do good work, and I kind of follow beyond that. And so, and you actually mentioned this in the last podcast. They
Mm-hmm.
were saying Proctor. I think it's Caden Proctor, the
Mm-hmm.
tackle from Alabama. Massive. To me, when I saw him, I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to be like Mekhi Becton, where he's like this
Yeah.
massive guy. They can put him at guard over Steen. And then when he's later in his career, or when later in his career, maybe a year or two down the line, he can push out to like a tackle position with like Lane retiring or something. So that was like my guess. Or that seemed like I liked that argument a lot. From you brought it up. I saw it on Bleeding Green Nation. I also saw it or heard it reiterated on the Philly special. And so that seemed pretty cool. The other one is, and I said this last time, I don't think he's going to be there, but Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end out of Oregon.
Oh yeah.
Um, Especially, it seems like with all the noise and the chatter around the AJ Brown leaving, I think they need target share recipient, and he's equivalent. He's not a wide receiver, but he would have target shares. Could line up in the slot or be the second tight end. More 12 packages with Goddard, or have more sort of unique goal line packages as well with him with 3 tight ends. So those two, I think we brought that up last time, but those are like the two main guys. Do you have anybody um, or any ideas of who you think they might get, or generalizations maybe?
I like Proctor a lot. There was one other note. He did like a tunnel screen or something like that. Like there was a game where he catches a ball and like takes
Hmm.
it as like a screen. So he's massive, but he can kind of run. It makes me like him even more. Also, I mentioned
Yeah.
this with Neil, but Proctor, Protector, there's kind of like a little bit of an over. Like
Yeah.
I like
Yeah. I
that a
like that.
lot. If he has been projected to go a little bit earlier than the Eagles
Hmm.
slot. So if they got a different tackle, I'd be happy with that. I think the same reasoning for Proctor. Like if there, it would just be really good because Dickerson's gotten hurt. He's had
Hmm.
injury issues. So
Yep.
that's another reason to get a guard that could play tackle. So that would be great. So I think they should just go offensive line, build up the
Yeah.
trenches,
Yeah.
and so if it's not Proctor, just another one of those prospects, I think is probably the best thing. And then who knows? Maybe there's an AJ Brown trade. Maybe there's a little bit of a
Hmm.
trade up to get Sadiq falling or something like
Hmm.
that. Could be kind of cool. But I do think the kind of you know, responsible thing would be just get like a tackle or an offensive lineman and just
Yeah.
go from there.
Well, I think it was the most clear sign. Nobody wanted to say it directly. They just wanted to blame Kevin Petula, but the offensive line was really bad. Like from a 2,000-yard rushing season from Saquon the year before, I think, and then the Super Bowl win the year following, they just didn't have the juice. They were injured. They were
I
all
mean,
beat up, and we didn't have the
yeah,
backups, like the quality backups. We had some average guys, Toth or whatever, and Fred Johnson was still around. But
yeah,
none of these guys gave us the edge like we did the year they won the Super Bowl. So like you said, reinvesting in what was once the strength of the team, and if they get healthy on top of that, I think could make the whole offense look simple. You could run the Kevin Petula plays and they look good now because there's actually
yeah.
better blocking. You know what I mean?
I do think that's a sometimes when like everything looks bad, you're like, why is every like AJ Brown looks bad, Jalen Hurts looks bad, Saquon looks bad, what's going on? Like, I think that's sometimes an indicator of like the offensive line, like
Yeah.
that they're unable to get out and pull, they're unable
Hmm.
to move bodies. They were really beat up. Uh, I think the entire offensive line was hurt. Like Lane did only played like was it 10 games? I think Something like
he
that.
missed the last like 5. Yeah, well, because he would, but even the one some of them he started and didn't finish. He
Right.
just like so
Yeah.
it felt like even
So
less than that. Yeah,
that was pretty big. And then it didn't feel like it too, because every week they were like, "Oh, he's questionable," but he just ended up not playing. It wasn't like he was just
yeah,
out or anything. And
right.
then the other part was like Dickerson was pretty hurt and Jurgens was pretty hurt. Like
Yeah,
all of them. I think they will have a couple of interesting prospects from last year that have been kind of cooking. Hinton and the other guy Robinson.
Cameron Williams. Oh, Cameron
Williams,
Williams.
not Robin. Yeah,
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 yeah, Yep.
Williams.
They
So,
redshirted those two. Yeah, they
and there's
redshirted those
also
two.
one other guy like
I got it. Kendall. Drew
Lumpkins.
Kendall.
Well, Drew
Oh,
Kendall as
oh,
well, but there was this
he's a
one guy
center.
they snagged.
Henry Lumpkin or something or
Yeah, like
Henry.
Lumpkin or something like that. Anyway, they have
Oh,
some people cooking. It would be very cool to see them
don't give me an excuse to look
get a
up an
prime.
Eagles depth chart. Don't you give me an excuse, huh? Uh-oh, we're already
I
doing
think
this?
we've
What
lost
time of
the
year
whole
is it?
audience now. We've lost the whole audience.
We're just talking to AJ right now. What's up, AJ?
I know.
just like just AJ listening
Joey's
to us.
listening. I think he's probably
Joey
still on
Coates.
there.
Yeah, Joey.
Yeah,
Yep,
he's
Joey's
listening for
listening.
sure. But
Uh who do we got on the old back
no,
line?
I think there's probably three guys that I think are solid. I think even with those, they're all like, we don't have the same scheme that we did. You lose
Mm-hmm.
Stoutland. So
Yeah.
there's going to be a change. It's not as like all those guys are going to, pan out. I do think it's worth throwing a first rounder in the mix, like a real sure
Yeah.
thing. And then having those guys kind of just settling and seeing where they land kind of deal.
I'm looking at a Willie Lampkin. Willie Lampkin center. I don't love this. He's my height, Jake, 5'11", but he weighs 290 pounds. So
He's
imagine.
super interesting. He was a Rams guy, and they snagged him. They like stole him off the practice squad from them. There was some kind of shady
Oh,
business where they stole him from the Rams, and yeah, he didn't
oh
clear
wow.
waivers or something like that. Anyway,
But look, he's a center. They're slotting him in as a backup center, and it looks like we have the backup tackles as well with Fred Johnson, like you said, Hinton, Kim Williams, but no backup guards. So that seems like a clear um,
well, that could be
draft day pickup.
yeah, that could be Lampkin, or it could be Kendall. Could be a guard.
True, but I don't. I mean, the other thing is Epps is slotted as our safety right now. We still need a safety, I think.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. It's just kind of weird, unless it's like a really great talent, getting a safety in the first round. Because the other part with the draft that always comes up is like the math of it all, of like contracts, positional
Mhm.
value,
Yep.
and like apparently like one of the big indicators for contending teams versus teams that are usually in the top 10 and the lower half of the team is a metric called like surplus value, where
Mhm.
it's the amount of production you get like per salary cap dollar, basically. And it basically is looking at how much you get versus how much you pay in a big way. To get a ton of surplus value is to be drafting the positions that often pay the most: edge rusher, QB, tackle, and being able to lock them into rookie contracts. And then
Mhm.
it has way more production than they're actually being paid. And so you have much more value than the salary cap. You have much
Yeah.
more, and then that's why you can pay Saquon Barkley the most money at running back, because the position doesn't pay that much. So, and same with Zach Bond. That position,
Yeah.
off ball linebacker, doesn't pay that much. So then you draft, which is another reason I think they draft a tackle, because
Mhm.
it's a lot of surplus value there and it's a premium position. So I think
Yeah.
drafting a tackle makes a lot of sense.
Or it sounds like with that rationale, which also great stuff there, Jake. That's great insight.
I have a
And
really cool video if you're interested in that. I watched like a
Send it.
30-minute video on the draft,
Hmm.
and there's a couple other things besides surplus value, but that one's a pretty clear one to kind of map out.
that seems like the contemporary draft room, the sort of personification of Billy Bean and the Moneyball guys, the analytics guys, and the evolution of that to where we are today with that kind of like positional value and what you're getting when you're constructing a roster of 53 guys total, and you have a lot more guys when you include the practice squad and then the guys that are in free agency but you're kind of like keeping tabs on. They're kind of like rotating in and out of your building, so it's a lot of guys to keep together, and it's like a baseball farm system kind of in a way. And so that makes sense that every dollar kind of matters there, at least for this regime, like this Howie and who he's had on his staff. They have done a great job the last, I'd say, 3 or 4 years in the draft, where they don't draft need necessarily. They draft value and consensus picks. You typically SEC guys and their athletic profile, their uh expanded athletic profile, which is like the tallest, strongest, fastest, and what was it, like most agile. They're sort of their three cone and things like that.
Mm.
Outliers, like those outliers jump up in like the Howie grading system.
Hmm.
um I think they always call, the way he terms it is like he's got a lot of tools or a lot of like
Hmm.
physical traits, they would say. I think a good example of this is Johnny Wilson, the wide receiver, who he's
Hmm.
coming back this year as another kind of I think that's flying under the radar. I think he was supposed to be important for them this year. He was very important as a run blocker the year they won, and
Hmm.
nobody really gives that a lot of due credit. But Johnny Wilson is a wide receiver on the team who is 6'6" and 228. And he was a great blocker, really long arms, could put his hands all over people. I think getting a 3, 4, 5 more guys kind of like that, these like you're scared when they get off the bus type of guys on the team, kind of like Proctor, who's 6'7", 369 or something like that, um, is just exciting because I think he's done enough in free agency, cheap moves, to make sure the team has not any glaring holes. There's like little dents, but they're not like full holes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is how I look
I
at this roster.
I sent you that video, and
Mhm,
that surplus value and all that stuff, it does change from round to round. So
mhm,
there is a real change where I think, on the topic of safety, it's one of those positions, much like linebacker, where later in the draft, in those mid rounds, there
mhm,
ends up being a higher hit rate, and the value that you get for some of those is like fine. So it ends up being a much better pick than
mhm.
some of the premium positions. Because yes, you could potentially have a ton of surplus value. However, the likelihood becomes so low of it being a decent player. Um,
Yeah.
and so there is this kind of like curve that ends up happening. I sent you the video. Maybe I'll tag it in the YouTube or something like that so people can take a look at it. But
Yeah, for the football nerds out there to
yeah,
that
really,
listen to
really
this
cool.
can get
Um,
connected.
and get a deep dive on like the different positional values and stuff like that. But brother, well, I think we can go even we'll do a bigger deep dive on the some
And
of the draft stuff, and
yeah.
after, especially the next episode when the draft is concluded, like we can
Mhm,
really chat about it. Maybe we'll release 2 episodes. I've been thinking about that, where
mhm.
we could do a big episode that you and I record, and I'll just split it into a normal going yard and then like a sports going yard, and we'll do it that
Yeah,
way. That
that
could
would
be a
be
good.
cool. Yeah, we've been doing a kind of front end, back end, front end, back end, but we could also, like you said, do like a full synopsis, like post draft of each player, what we like about it, what we didn't like about it, how it fits within the context of the team. And we can really nerd out about it.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that could be cool.
Cool.
All right, brother. Well, it's just great.
Brother.
Great catching up. The New York trip was. We got to go back for the comedy. We got to go back for the
It's a
comedy
dream.
crawl.
Comedy. Mark, maybe
All right,
to see
brother.
Mark Norman there. See you, brother.
All right. Love you. See ya.
Love you.
See ya.
That's going yard.